I just know. Are we live?
Yeah, of course.
Oh, hello, everybody. As this is take two.
Hello, everybody and nobody. Yeah, I didn't press go live. You know what? I'm gonna just take myself off because now that I've escaped the matrix, I seem to be glitching. The matrix wants me back in, and I just can't be bothered with all you guys who are stuck and brainwashed. So I'm gonna do my stop my camera, but you'll still be able to hear me.
All right. So this is the Halloween episode as Rodney has escaped the Matrix. The Matrix is trying to pull him back in, like Godfather. They keep pulling me back in.
Yeah, man. So
So
what's good, man? Happy Halloween, man. Happy Halloween.
yes. It's good Halloween celebration that the city of Frisco held on Saturday. Took the little one. He dressed up as Superman without a cape.
That's
The cape
classic.
The cape
Does,
got lost.
does he know who Superman is?
No clue.
Oh, okay.
He
So
just knew it meant that he got candy for it, so he was
eh,
happy.
that's all it needs. That's all it needs, man. Candy. Did you tell him, hey, you're Superman?
Yes, and I don't know if he really understood it. And we kept trying to say, you got to say trick or treat, and he went into that. But they had like bounce houses and everything, so he loved going to the bounce houses, and they had ones where you have to climb up and then slide down. He would climb to the top and then wouldn't slide down. I guess he was scared. So as other kids went up, I would tell the other kids, hey, just push him down, and they just push him down
Okay.
down the slide. And he had fun, but
Yeah, kids love having fun. So it doesn't matter if there's some candy involved or some, you know, sliding down some slides. That's fun too. Um, yeah, we skipped the intro because we already did the intro, but we weren't live. We did the intro.
hey, we're just rolling too deep today.
Yeah. We were supposed to be talking about evolution, but personal evolution, but I think we should wait and just kind of just pop up because you're not here for a long time. You got to be out in a few minutes. So let's just dip our toes in the water a little bit, continue to try to be consistent and show up. So that's what today is really about.
Well, it's a perfect day, being Halloween, to ask about the latest Halloween movie. And I think
Okay.
you were going to go see it. So what did you think? I don't know. I haven't watched since like number 3, the season of the witch, which I thought was pretty good. I enjoyed it.
Season
That
of
was
the
the
Witch.
last. That was the last one I've ever seen.
That should be a standalone movie though. That shouldn't be in the. Do you remember that movie at all?
Oh yeah.
Okay,
I
it had
remember.
nothing to do with like Michael Myers and Laurie Strode and any of that. It was about
Correct.
those
Yeah,
those masks that had the little thing on it.
the
On the,
warlock that
yeah,
was from the Stonehenge, and then it went
silver shamrock.
Silver Champ. Do, 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 do,
Yes,
do, do, Halloween. I don't want to
yes,
get a copyright strike since I'm so much close to how it actually sound there.
yeah,
That was good.
yeah.
I
No, it,
enjoyed
it
it.
was a good movie. It was a good movie. But see, like these new Halloweens there's 3 new ones that came out starting 2018. What they did was they eliminated every Halloween after the first one, and they picked it up as if so not the latest one, the first one in this series of 3, they picked it up with Michael Myers actually being caught at the end. At the end of Halloween, the first one, he got away. They
Yeah, he
picked
got
up
shot by Dr. Loomis.
right. Dr.
Mhm.
Loomis, who I contend is crazier than Michael Myers. Would you say? I think he's
Yeah,
crazy.
he's really obsessed. I should say that, man, to
Yeah.
say the least.
So they picked up like after as if Michael Myers got caught and was in like the insane asylum or in the hospital since then. So they eliminated like Halloween 3 season of the witch. They eliminated 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, H2O, all of the Rob Zombie Halloweens. They like eliminated. They pretended like none of those happened and just picked up. So they were the first. They were good. All of them were good. This last one, they just did a lot of stuff that was like it didn't have it had to do with Michael Myers. See, they went more into the psychology of him killing those people and being a killer, what it did to that little small town. So I made everybody on edge. I made it so I like that aspect of it. But this third one, they had like another guy who was a copycat, and yeah, I don't know. It just seemed like they was doing too much. But if you like, Michael Myers mask and you like people getting stabbed up, then you like it, which I do, and I did.
I mean, yeah, I enjoy it, but
People
I
getting
didn't know
stabbed
that
up.
I didn't have a I didn't know they had a copycat. Well, because I've never seen the movie, so unless I can get it for free or something like that, or watch it on, whatever they upload to YouTube, whatever, then
Mm.
I probably won't even ever see it, even though I enjoy it stuff. But I don't have time to watch movies.
What do you have time for?
To work and taking care of my son pretty much takes up most of the time. There are times where I relax, but I actually can't get access to the TV because if I try to watch something, then Sam gets upset because he wants to watch, as he says, ABC song. He wants to watch the songs on the ABCs or shapes,
Mhm.
learning the different shapes. So he'll end up throwing a fit, and I'm like, all right, let me turn to what you want to watch. So even if I had time, I probably wouldn't be able to watch what I wanted. So all right, oh well.
Well, you also have time for a quick pop-up live, what you're
That's
doing now.
true. I made time for this. Yes, yes. Left work to get started on this
You
because
so
it's
wait.
important.
Yeah, so you left work. So talk about that. You left work to come and just talk to two people, nobody? Talk to me.
Well, we were expecting to have more, but you know,
What do you
life
think?
happens. Life
What do you
happens.
what do you think about that?
What do I think about what? About coming here and only have one other person?
Yeah, where's the more at? What happened to the more?
Oh, well, I mean, this is kind of what I talked about in our boxer group. So anybody who watches this that hasn't seen us before, first of all, thank you for watching this. If you watch this in the future or you tune in live as we're talking, we have a Voxer group between all of us are in this five deep group. And as I said there, that when we started doing these lives, we decided to do it. I thought, well, the whole purpose was it was like an extension of what we do on Voxer. Um, but it seems that as of late, that we've really been more and more kind of disconnected. We don't talk as much as we used to, and we don't push back on each other as much as we did. And and life happens. People's priorities they change. They have things that are important to them. So I guess what you were saying is, does it? When I say I leave work, there's a certain time after which that if we have to leave, we're okay to leave. And the employer won't get mad. So that's why originally I asked if we could move it to like 3:15, so I wouldn't get in trouble. But yeah, I mean, I still could be working so I don't have to make up any time later or anything like that. But I mean, it doesn't bother me. I can still make up the time. But
Yeah, no, I get it. And like just to kind of echo what you was talking about. So we definitely get on each other behind the scenes a lot more than we have publicly so far. And I think um as we evolve, it'll be a little bit it'll be more clear to anybody watching like exactly what we are. I don't think it's really clear just yet. Um, but I think over time, because part of it was just kind of getting out there and just doing it. But we seem to have shown up more when we were just doing the Skype call. All of us seem to show up. It seemed like we showed up a little bit more, and I don't know if that's because the cameras are on now. It's kind of like all right, or if people are too busy because we all been kind of too busy, and I got a full plate. I have a extra full plate, and I definitely try to make it as much as possible. But I did fall into that space where if Mark wasn't showing up because he's the MC, this essentially is his baby. If he didn't show up, it was kind of like we all kind of like, all right, well, I guess we don't really got to show up. But that wasn't the purpose of it. You know what I'm saying? The purpose of it is for us to all show up, and part of our theme was being consistent and showing up. And you said it's kind of gotten a little stale, and I think that's why we just wanted to come in here and I would be on camera, but my camera's acting weird again. So just and I got my new avatar right here. You know who that is right there?
That looks like the dude that was from Infinity War. I did see that
Yeah,
movie.
he's in there. This is M'Baku.
Okay. I don't know anything about comics, so
That's okay. He's he lives in Wakanda. He's for Black Panther. So
okay. I've seen that one. I don't
yes,
remember him though, but I saw that. That was
he
good.
is
I enjoyed that
he
movie.
is you so you watched it. You remember the guy who challenged him in the beginning, who came through the Jabari tribe with the gorilla mask. They came through and he
Uh,
challenged them way in the beginning.
I just remember the guy from Creed who challenged him and then lost. The good guy lost,
Yeah.
and then
Okay. So yeah,
I just remember that one. I don't remember all of it, but yeah.
yes,
And then
well,
the dude with the robot arm or whatever, the gun arm or whatever it was. I don't remember.
the Winter Soldier.
No. The other dude, the dude who played, was it Smeagol?
Oh, you talking about? I know
Didn't
you
he have like
talking.
a robot arm or a
Yeah,
gun
yeah,
arm or
his arm was
something? Or
his arm. Yes, yes, I know what you're talking about. Yeah, yeah, I know what you're talking about. But
all the
let's talk about Game of
comic book
Thrones.
fans are killing me right now.
Let's talk
All
about
the
Game of
comic book fans are like, "How dare you say that?"
let's, let's talk about Game of Thrones. No, just fucking with
That's my 2 cents on Game of Thrones. It was literally just silence on it for
you.
let's see, might be less sharing and pushing back because more people are listening in on the conversations. It's different when it's private chat and you're sharing amongst family. That's a good point. That's a very good point.
That definitely, I know for me, I definitely, and I've always felt that, within reason, we can have conversations, and I know that some of the stuff affects, well, anything you really do affects everybody around you. And part of it is, you know, being able to have a conversation and being able to be constructive and not sound like, you're being critical of the people in your life, and doing it publicly is one thing, right? To do it in private and kind of get ideas and, a different viewpoint when we're in private and we just kind of talking, and it's easier, for at least for me, it's easier. So yeah, it's definitely, I definitely try to consider. But I think I said that before we started recording. I said, part of even my podcast and even my page is, me sharing and being open and trying to, because the goal is to help people that may be going through some of the stuff that you're going through. So
Mhm.
in that sense, you can be transparent, but if I just weigh, like, okay, the people around me, did everybody sign up for it, and is it going to be fair to them that I just do this or that, or I say certain things? And so it's a balance, trying to lead into some of the stuff and trying to get advice, and also trying to put things out there with, you know still have to, there's a time when we turn these cameras off.
Yeah,
There is a whole separate thing that goes on once you turn the camera off. So that balance for me.
absolutely. There's stuff that we talk about in the Voxer chat that's been brought up here on the live, and that I'm kind of like, I don't want to say anything because we're on live. But I'm like, you know, maybe you shouldn't have. And I'm not saying you. I'm saying the person who shouldn't really talk about that, because what's mentioned in Voxer, some of that is not meant to be put in a public. They may not want to be out there publicly. And um, to Marta's point, yeah, I mean, it's one thing to push back or on somebody privately, but when you're public, to where potentially millions of people, because millions of subscribers, millions of people could see it, then yeah, it could be, I don't want to involved in that. Or what was maybe we hold back, not really push back, but maybe we hold back and not really say what we really want to because of being public.
Do you feel any kind of way of, like, if you're not being 100% authentic, because it's not, like you said, it's not necessarily. It's more holding back. Do you feel when you are having a conversation, is it a conscious thing, or you don't even have to try to like turn it off? It's just like, okay, I'm going to pick my words. I'm going to pick and choose my words right here in this situation, because again, the camera's going to go off and I have to walk out into the world and see this person or
Mhm.
that person.
Well, it's not really. I don't think of it. I guess I consciously try to be as open as possible. I mean, a perfect example is the interview I did with Hussein. I went into it not planning on talking about lying to my wife. It can't. And he talked about struggles, and I was like, well, that was kind of it. So, but there were things, and I guess now that I think about it, there were things in there that on a relationship that I didn't want to bring up. I could have been even more transparent. I was like, no, this is not the place to bring that up. There, in addition to the quote that I said, or at least I think it's a quote from Mark Twain, where it says, "Always tell the truth. That way you don't have to remember anything." There's
Right.
another quote I've heard. It says, "Always tell the truth, but not all truth needs to be spoken." So
Right.
I was kind of like, okay, I'm going to hold back a little bit. So I guess, yeah, I guess I did consciously hold back on it. And, but I mean, if anybody asks me a question, I will be as open as I can. If it was just me, if it was something I did, like talking about my illness, I'm okay with that because I'm
Right.
really the only one involved. But if
Right.
it's something else like a relationship, when no somebody else could get hurt and they don't they didn't choose to be on a live session.
Right. Yeah, that's the fine line. Because you're including people, and you know, ultimately though, if we're trying to connect with people, you know, the conversation has to be real. And if we're having a conversation and there is kind of just stuff thrown out there, but there's really no context to it, are we as effective as we want to be? If there's just kind of like, if there's an inside joke and we all laughing and we all kind of allude to it, but we really don't, somebody watching it doesn't quite know exactly what we're talking about. We know and we get it. Is it ultimately, is it helpful when you're not, when people don't know exactly what you're talking about and they may not be able to fully relate to what you're talking about because you didn't let them in.
I guess if it's just passing, like a passing joke to it, and then we kind of move on from that, then I don't really see there's a problem with it. People may be like, okay, what was that about? Whatever. But if we keep hitting it again and again and again, then it's like, all right, either stop bringing it up, or we're going to have to tell people, what that means. Um, part of the reason, or I guess a huge reason why we're on here is to also kind of, in my opinion, to go over like our struggles and what we're dealing with and how we're overcoming them. So we need to be, to me, that means you need to be transparent and open. Now, again, you don't have to tell everything, but at least be honest with what you put out there, what you choose to put out there. So uh, I think I answered your question and kind of
Right.
went a little above and beyond that.
Yeah, so it says boundaries should be established for if goal is to be an extension of what you got started. Voxer, and what you do in Voxer is share and hold each other accountable. Then you would be transparent on the live and people could relate. If not, the love should be intended for general conversation. The live. Okay, I think you mean live should be intended for general conversation. Yeah. So that's
Yeah.
where that's the fine line, right? Because we can have a general conversation. Like we could touch on topics, we can touch on the same topics. And so like um, I can say, Howard, let me give you a scenario and give you this whole scenario. And I could be asking you a question about your life. I'm asking you about your life. I'm giving it as a scenario. And I want you to elaborate on it because you're in that moment, you're like, solving your problem or you're, advising from your point of view. And nobody would know. Um, so you can do it in a fine line way. But that I think like the goal is not to really be like rehearsed. You know what I'm saying? The goal is to be authentic um and I think everybody's time frame is their time frame. So where you are, I'm not where you are. You're not where Harmony is. Harmony's not where Harmony not where Mark. So people are in different places, and everybody had to take the steps to get to where they are, whether they're small or big steps. So I think for it to happen organically, even if it doesn't happen immediately, I think for it to happen organically, I think is the best way, where you can establish beforehand, but organically. I don't want to just come on and force stuff just because, hey, I said I'm gonna be transparent. So guess what I did? Just what I just finished doing. It's not necessarily, that's not my goal anyway.
Yeah, and I put March's comment back up there because we agreed, at least that's what I remember. We agreed that this would be kind of an extension of what we're doing in Boxer. However, to your point, that we don't want it to be rehearsed, and that's why I mentioned it before actually in our Boxer chat, that when we have a topic, unless it's something like with a what is it, something to go in the box or the room, whatever that thing we were doing, the room 52 or whatever it was. Other than that, I try not to think about the topic too much, because I want to try to get my initial like gut answer to it as close as possible, and not be like, oh yes, here's my answer. Point number one, blah 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 blah.
Right.
So it's not written, because that's what we do on Boxer. We don't know, to Marta's point, your point, we don't know what Lee's going to say when he comes on in the morning, and then he says something, and then he goes off about something, and then Mark goes off about something, I go off about something. We don't know. So now we have time to think about it. But to everybody's point here is that we're private in that. So we'll come on there and just say, oh, this is what I think about it, and then not really have a filter on it. Whereas on live, to what you said, it's going to take time for us to get kind of into the habit of being more transparent, more open, to talk about these things.
Yeah. I would liken it to a therapy session, right? You go to therapy, and when you're in your therapy session, your comfortability has to do with the fact that this is essentially a one-on-one conversation. I don't know if they go and talk to other people. I'm sure they have somebody to talk to and whatever, but that comfort level, because you are able to have the conversation with this person, and that it's not going any further. There's a different level of, okay, not only is this going further, this is basically shouting, climbing on the top of a building and shouting out, here's what's going on. I'm okay with that to an extent, but like I said, it has to be on your time. I wouldn't try to force you and say, well, you have to talk about this right now. We're live, and I want to address this because you told me this about, you, um and now I want to throw that out there. So it's just a matter of, okay, what were you just gonna say?
No, I thought you were done. Go ahead and finish what you're saying.
No, I was saying it's just a matter of the timing. For everybody's timing is different, and everybody's situation is different too. So somebody looking at it from their lens and saying, well, if I was you, here's what I would do, or here's how I see things. That's great. And I don't have a problem with, you saying this is how you would do. And I may even take some pointers from you. But, as far as where I'm at, I may not be there. And when one of the things that I said a couple of episodes ago is like, I want people to operate more with grace. That's part of it, not calling somebody dumb because they don't see things that you see, or because, oh, that's stupid, or isn't a certain level of get your ass in gear. I appreciate that, but that's not necessarily going to work. And somebody has been in like supervision for a long time. You're not going to move everybody along the same way. So I can yell at everybody, but you may frown if I yell. Lee may love it. Harmony may love it. Mark may tell me to go fuck off. So, you know what I'm saying? So that's part of it as well. Everybody's in different time and space.
Yeah, everybody is different. Everybody's life is different. Everybody's circumstances are different. One person may say, "Oh, you just gotta," and I've said it before, just go up and get up and start. Well, that's easier I guess you could say, quote, easier for some people more than others, different life circumstances. It's different for me because I have a son. Now, some people may have a son that's exactly the same age as my son, and then they find it easier or harder. So it, it's not a cookie cutter answer to it. And that goes back to what you were saying, like, this is how I did it. Maybe the way I did it or the way I am doing it is a way that you haven't thought about it before, and then you give it a try, and then maybe see if it works for you. There's no one size fits all. It's
Right.
different for everybody.
And, let's just be honest. We're talking about successes, but we're mostly talking about failures, areas of failure, and not necessarily failure, areas where we want to improve and things that we could have done better or we would like to do. And nobody really likes to do that publicly. You really don't want to fail. You really don't want to fall flat on your face. Like if you walking down the street and you trip over the sidewalk and you fall, the first thing you do is look around, right?
Yep. See
Take a look
who
around and
saw
see
you.
who the hell fell you, who saw you fall, and depending on who's there, you might get somebody that'll help you up. So, oh, you all right? You might get some guys in the corner pointing at you, laughing. You might get people just walk by you and not even pay attention. You know
That's
what I'm
me.
saying? So it's
I'm falling, hoping that the nice looking woman, good looking woman, is going to come help me up, and then that can lead into maybe getting a phone number or something. But
I'm
no,
not even
not so much. She just laughs and then steps over me.
I'm not even going there, bro. You can have that. But yeah, it's I think it's a little tougher than people think, only because um you know when when it's live, it's just a different feeling. I don't know how to explain it. But like what we're looking at right now, we're live and we got the comments, we got the banners, we got the brand. Like, so imagine you running the show and you trying to get information out and you're trying to be cognizant and you're looking at how many people are here and you're looking at the time. It's like so many different things. So all these things, you know, when you go live, contribute to the fact that, and then let's be honest, we want to be entertaining too. We don't want to just come on and not be entertaining. So it's a lot to think about. The main thing is me. I think all of us is just getting comfortable being there, being ourselves on live. If it was that easy, we wouldn't have had, all right, okay, let's get a thumbnail. Let's get this. Let's get, like, it's a whole bunch of preparation to do this. And then
Yep.
it's showtime. And showtime is not a scripted showtime. It's your life. Tell me about your life.
So are you saying then that a 3-hour live on choline is not engaging and entertaining?
Was Colleen, was he in Black Panther?
He could have been.
Okay.
Maybe that could be a new superhero. Not Colin, but
I was gonna say that sounds too much
Colin.
like Colin. What is Colin Man gonna do? What is his
Oh,
superpower?
well, probably involving something very smelly and
Exactly.
yeah.
Exactly. No,
It's
I
like,
think, but that's the thing, Tove. You can do, like, you've been in trainings where the material is dry.
oh yeah.
That's why I like the idea of the live stream with the chat, because you can really make it interactive and engage. So we may not get to all of the things we want to talk about. If the chat is moving enough and there's a lot of questions, you may not ever get to it. So that's why I like that. You can do I've seen people do 12-hour lives. So you
Wow.
can, yeah, you can, but that includes like pulling people up on a panel, like doing different things like that, where because we could theoretically have 10 people up here and just having a round robin discussion, as long as people are not talking over each other and stuff like that.
Mhm.
So you can do it. And the health people, the people who are in your lane, they definitely will be able to talk to you about that. 3 hours. I think 3 hours would be nothing.
Yeah, well, yeah, it's 3 hours is different because I mean, I definitely had enough information to cover the whole 3 hours. I had enough to cover like another hour or two. I actually just said, "Oh, I'm gonna cut here, cut this." But yeah, it's like what you said. You're just worrying, like, okay, is the camera right? Am I talking into the microphone properly? And then you're worried about all that, and then you kind of sound robotic, like you're just going through the motions instead of being engaging and something that people find enjoyable. Because I know me watching it, sometimes I'm like, oh my gosh, this is so boring, Howard. Like, why did you do that? Even I am like, oh, and that's one of the things Harmony said. Like, she said, shorten it up, like get
Right.
to the point. And that was, yeah. And that was very eye opening. Like, she is right. Like, I just need to be like more to the point. So, and it like with these lives, this is something else that we can bring up for the group and everything as well, is the more we do it, the better it will get.
Right.
It's just like anything. You just gotta keep trying and then keep working on it, and we get better at it. So we'll find our way. We'll find kind of like our niche and then what we want to do and what we're going to focus on. I don't think we want to be doing room 54 or whatever it was. I think it's Studio 54 was that bar, whatever. Room 54, whatever it's called, whatever Mark said, which I didn't understand the rules at the beginning. My mom didn't understand the rules. It's like, Mark, this is too confusing, dude. We're picking what not to talk about. What? And then, but I don't want to think we want to be doing that every other week. But
yeah, I mean, but yeah, you wouldn't have you have too many things to talk about. But I like the idea of doing, not necessarily throwing things away, but picking one of those things, going around robin and picking one of those things to actually talk about.
yeah.
As opposed to throwing it away. We can switch it up. But I mean, this is all, like you said, work in progress. We just trying to find our way. And today we did it with 2 people.
2 people. Also asking people like social media and stuff. What topics do you want us to talk about
Yeah.
on the
Well,
live? Maybe get enough questions, and then we'll just do what is it? Ask me anything.
yeah.
Ask me anything, and then just spend an episode just going through the questions and answering it. And then for all the single, ladies that, yes, I am single. No, just joking. No,
All
the
right.
wife.
See that
Hopefully, the
frying
wife doesn't hear that.
see that
But
frying through that door. You left the door open and you talking that shit?
no,
Okay.
I am married, but no, I'll leave that. I'm going to self-edit. Oh gosh,
I'm just gonna be quiet and let you cook.
I think
Go
I'm
ahead
going to
and
be. I think I'm going to be sleeping in the garage tonight. So
I'm gonna let you cook, bro. I'll let you cook.
hey,
But
let
yeah,
me cook, brother. I got myself into this, so I got to get myself out of it.
there ain't no getting out of it. The other thing too, I want to say also too, I
You're
could
right there.
nah, this this for life, bro. I promise you. The other thing is YouTube has given out community tabs now. They used to have to have 500 subscribers in order to get a community tab, and that's basically like sharing content. So now that I have a community tab, what I'm going to do, because I have like 179 whole subscribers,
Man, that's good, dude.
but I
That's
can
really good.
I can share on my community tab, my community wall on YouTube, and when we go live, I'm going to start doing that. I just got to figure out if I just click on it and share it or whatever, but I'll start doing that, and we may get some people to come in, that we don't know, and hopefully people start sharing out the content. So and I think that's the other thing too. I think once we start to get the engagement, I think that's when it really, like, it'll push you to give you that extra little oomph. That okay, people are here, people are listening. We're not just talking to each other. Because I think as long as we feel like we're just talking to each other, we kind of just we kind of take each other for granted in a sense.
Yeah, I mean, definitely. It's the getting questions from other people to where we can really display our individual strengths in certain things. Asking Harmony or Lee about like coaching or mindset, whatever it is. Somebody asked me about supplements, you about real estate, whatever. Mark about sorry, I couldn't think of anything there, so I just it would really it would help to promote ourselves as well. It's just like, hey, this person kind of knows what they're talking about, or
Yeah.
at least maybe sound like they know what they're talking about. I know Lee and you and Harmony, you all know what you're talking about. Me, I just
Just show up.
spout BS. Just dude talking about choline for 3 hours and whatever.
I gotta check it out. I don't remember seeing it. I gotta check it out. I'll see if I can get to it. I'll let you know. I'll be the judge of that. You
Although
got
I
it?
did, for anybody that's interested, I did split to take the three different choline types of choline supplements that I talked about. I put it into individual uploads. So if you don't want to do the whole 3 hours, it's kind of like into 20 to 30 minute segments, I think, that I split it up. So
I think that's more. I think that's more. People
it's what I should have
digest
done.
that. Yeah, digest that a little bit more. You got anything you working on, man?
Well, the latest is that the quality department, whatever, for the label maker, they approved the label for the pre-workout. It is currently in queue to be printed, and I'm just waiting for them to give me the invoice. I assume that they're going to be calculating the shipping, and then they'll give me the final invoice. That'll be sent to the manufacturer, and then just wait to see when it comes up. I don't know if they're not going to tell me this, but I don't know if it's if they have any delays, or maybe there's more important, higher priority customers that are in front of me. Don't know, but possibly, maybe, I would say, if not the end of the year, the beginning of next year, hopefully, fingers crossed, we'll have the supplement. So
Yeah, I'm
in
looking forward.
between now and then, it's just going to be promoting it.
Right, I'm looking
Promoting
forward
it.
to. Did you? I don't know if you said. Did you pick the flavors that you're doing?
Doing fruit punch. I'm just
Okay.
starting off with one flavor for now.
Yeah, I'm gonna get on it. You doing any pre-orders or no?
If you want, yeah. I actually need to see if my Shopify store, if I can set that up. I probably can, and then just signal that it's a pre-order. But yeah, I'll have to see about getting the website updated. I just updated it the other day, but eventually I want to go to the well, I'm not going to mention it because, as I wanted to put that topic into the room where don't tell you about what you want to do, talk about
Okay.
what you've done. So
All right.
but what I've done is now I'm waiting for their labels to get printed, sent to the manufacturer, and then the product to actually be made. So good stuff on that. Sam starts school in 2 weeks, I think. That's the plan. So that's going to be fun with him going to school.
Yeah, you're definitely gonna enjoy that. Other than getting all kind of little colds and stuff from other little kids.
Oh yeah, he goes to daycare now, and he's had numerous ear infections. He's had COVID already, and
Yeah.
he was sick for about a day, and then the next day he was like back to complete normal. And then he had he gets a lot of croup, which is like a viral infection where he gets a cough.
Yeah. No, my little guy
So
got a bunch of that
lots of
RSV. What is it? All that stuff.
the respiratory something virus. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's going around. All the kids are getting it, and then they spread it to the adults, and then we all get sick, and then everybody's sick together.
Yes. Happy sick family.
Kids are walking petri dishes, is what they are, and they put their hands everywhere, but that's all part of learning.
I always now from years from the older kids to my youngest one, I enjoy looking at life through their eyes. So can't think of a better way to end the show. You gotta go. I gotta go. Like, share, subscribe. Thanks for tuning in. Sorry about my camera issues. I'm gonna get it fixed, man. I'm gonna try to figure this out. I can't be glitching every damn episode.
Maybe talk to the manufacturer. Maybe they'll give you a replacement or something.
Yeah, I might have to do that because it's so too many times.
Maybe it's a known issue, and they'll give you. Maybe it's a, what do you call it, like a firmware update that you can get off their website or something.
I did do a software update not too long ago, and it didn't seem like it did anything. It didn't make anything better. So you saw it. I rebooted. I changed which ports I put the damn thing in, and
you've changed 3 cables.
But the lighting did change. You know what I'm saying? I didn't change the lighting, but when I rebooted, the lighting changed on the camera. So I don't know. It's just some funky shit going on. I just got to figure it out.
Maybe you said you've already updated that. So I assume the drivers, you said you already updated the software, so the drivers and everything are probably up to date. Yeah, I'd reach out to the manufacturer and see what they have to say.
All right, we'll do. All right, y'all. We will be out hopefully we are we going again next week or what? What are we doing?
I'll be here next week. Barring an emergency, I will be here next week.
All right. Peace, y'all.
Take care.